Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the latest broadcast of Rockland Rebel Radio, a mostly local music podcast. I'm your host, Ian Garland, and with me is my brother and my co-host, Angus Garland.
Hi.
Hi, indeed. It is good to be back on the airwaves for another episode of this bullshit.
I was just going nuts, for the entire, the first 5 minutes before we start recording. I just love it. Just when you go into it, hey, full force energy, I'm just like, what's up? As if nothing happened. As if I wasn't on a big diatribe before this.
The most pointless diatribe I've ever heard.
You told me to talk, and I was talking. I gave you what you asked for.
I mean, honestly, that's the best I could ask for, honestly, because there's sometimes where he's just like, what do I say? What do I even say?
It's just you don't know, but then when you have the right topic, you can just go for hours. I could have kept going for that until I actually got sick of it, which is a while.
But yeah,
party.
But yeah, so today on this episode of Rockland Rebel Radio, we will be discussing what we've been listening to this last week. We'll be discussing the release of the week, OroborO's debut LP, Laughing Death. We'll dive into a tiny bit of music news if we have some time, and then we'll finish the show off from there. Easy peasy, same old.
Easy peasy.
41st episode, just like to remind you guys.
Yeah, easy.
9 more till we hit the 50, the big 5-0.
I didn't even know what episode we're on. Woohoo! Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and listening to a little bit of G-Eazy.
You know what? I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
I was trying to come up with a third one. I just right as I was going. It's just off the dome.
I mean, you could have just said Yeezy.
I'm more of a G-Eazy kind of guy.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. Yo,
Maybe I am.
G-Eazy's a classic, man.
But Kanye isn't the new classic.
No. He'll never replace G unless he also dies of an STD.
I mean, I think he's not gonna do that. I don't think he's gonna do that.
Come on, because G-Eazy was
I think he was in NWA.
Yeah, he was. He was NWA. I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, he was. That's what I remember.
All right.
I was also hoping I didn't say his name wrong. That would have been just an idiot.
You're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so do you want to start off with what you've been listening to this week? Or
I
do you
can.
Want me to listen to?
I have interesting things that I found.
All right. Well,
interesting topics, interesting words.
Well, let us hear some.
That was an Eddie Izzard reference I just pulled.
Words.
Interesting words. Hungry for words. Shut up. So yeah, I found interesting music. I don't know if I should talk about Titans or I should talk about the other thing I found, or I should just do one after the other. What do you?
Let's talk about the other thing you found, and we'll talk about Titans later.
Oh, okay. Well, so you remember 2007 to 2010, all of YouTube and all the Flash cartoons and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everything on Newgrounds. You remember Crinkles and Madness Combat and all that stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. So you know how all of them kind of had custom music made for every episode?
Yeah.
So the person who does it, Sean Hodges or whatever, actually goes by the name of Cheshire, had uploaded that all to Apple Music.
Damn.
I found it.
What's it listed under? Just the Madness Combat soundtrack?
It's just a self-titled called Cheshire.
Okay.
CHESHYRE.
All right, so Cheshire cap up with a Y instead of an I. Okay.
Yeah. And he has everything from all 10 Madness Combats in an album.
Damn, I mean that's a lot of Eurobeat inspired electronic.
Yeah, it's and a few other songs that he didn't use. So it's just kind of it's cool. He has an Apple Music, and I think he put out 2 other things after, because he also did the soundtrack for their Flash game. They did their first Flash of their first of their custom games. One of them, it was just a regular Flash game, but they're trying to do a 3D kind of just the sequel on Steam.
All right.
So yeah, I found that it's 18 tracks. I think it's an hour long.
All right.
Yeah, because some of the tracks are they're a minute, And then there's other tracks where it's just like they're 6 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah, like Madness 6.5 and 5.5 were like we're like 6 minutes each. And there's so it has a mix of like his old stuff and new stuff, and it's not in any particular order. I guess it's just the order he felt it is in.
All right, that's cool.
So it's cool. I mean, there is the thing of audio quality kind of going between, going in and out.
Sounds garbo between different songs.
Yes, like the newer ones sound really good, and some of the newer, and there is one newer one that is a little, like there's a lot of audio clipping in one of the newer ones. Some of the older ones are pretty alright. Like Madness 4 was an older one, but was like one of the best ones in there. All but like there's certain songs where it's just like there's audio clipping kind of hell.
All right. Yeah, it's like. It's basically like a proof of what I've done as a musician for like the last like 5 years.
Yeah. Well, it's just like it's there's some newer ones where they're just audio just happen to clip and it just happens, and some older ones where it doesn't. It's just weird.
All right.
Just whatever happened, I guess. But it is nice to listen to and just chill. But then when you've watched as many of the Madness Combat things as I have, you can just watch it and just hear which part of the episode it is, and it's just like, damn it.
Oh
yeah. It's just kind of it's hard to listen to them as just actual music, which is weird because I just think of the episodes and I'm like, huh. But it's cool. There's some of them that are just like they're really cool. Like Madness 4 was like a more of a very like a techno-y clubby kind of thing going on, and it's fun,
That sounds
good
fun.
Stuff. Yeah,
that's a nice little.
I might talk about more of his stuff because he actually put out a regular just like music release on his own name, just like nothing tied to any project.
Neat.
Yeah.
And like I know his like a lot of stuff is very like Eurobeat or drum and bass inspired stuff.
It definitely I'd say definitely is very very Eurobeat inspired.
It's like
you just hear it.
Yeah, because like, it was in that time of like the mid 2000s when everything wanted to sound just like running in the 90s, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or Pendulum.
Yeah, everything just wanted to be Eurobeat, and just he did it pretty well. There's some interesting ones where just like, especially some of the interesting sounds for the ones he used for like the fifth Madness Combat, where it's just like this like, there's like this thing that can like just I don't know, it just describes as being like just very like, just angry and pounding, and like it just makes you like barbaric kind of sounding.
Oh yeah,
it's just weird, and I love it. It's something just worth finding on Apple Music and just being like, yep, this is like the 2000s right here.
Nostalgia.
And just like an hour of audio. Yeah. For those people who didn't have friends and just sat on YouTube all day.
But yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So during my week hanging out with Catherine, I ended up listening to a lot of Ninja Sex Party this week.
Woo!
Because Catherine and I's musical crossover right now is just Carly Rae Jepsen and anything by Dan Avidan, except she's bored by anything that isn't Ninja Sex Party or Starbomb.
Yeah. I never really got into Starbomb. They were just like, it was the problem with like Coheed and Cambria. They're just too happy for me.
I can see that, yeah.
Like it sounds just too pleasant and too soft and nice, and I'm like I was hoping Starbomb would be a little bit more, would I don't know, would just kind of be maybe a fast kind of like a faster kind of just, I don't know, just generally with maybe even some more organic music mixed in, like organic instruments. But then it was just like it was just taking the synth of Ninja Sex Party and then just like timesing it by 100.
Yeah, basically.
And I was just like, eh.
So, I ended up listening to like basically their full discography and a little bit of and both Starbomb albums, all on the way to bring her back up to Burlington Thursday night, and I noticed that like Under the Covers, like Under the Covers 2 is better than Under the Covers 1.
Yeah.
And their first album is basically their best album as far as like originals, because like their shtick of being like goofballs gets
maybe
they do it a little too much, and like and even more they do it a little too much in Strawberries and Cream, and it just gets like over. They jump the shark like 10 times over, and like and what was also Attitude City, like.
No.
What?
Attitude. I loved Attitude City because that was the first one I listened to, and it just kind of like I just die laughing. But also the problem is that Attitude City might not be their funniest, but it has their best musical like composition out of all the albums.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Dragon Slayer is just an amazing vocal melody, and just like the all the instrumentation behind it, just like it's so catchy that you still want to listen to it, even though the joke is old, but it's just like the song's still good, and you're like, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. My least favorite is Strawberries and Cream, because not just because it's just like they overdid anything, it's just some of the jokes weren't as funny. As just like there weren't as just like the kind of jokes that were coming out of the first album. Like it was just like the Unicorn Wizard was just kind of like
yeah, that was a really dumb song.
Yeah, it was just like, I mean, it was, I think it was mostly just for the end part where just mom's like, shut up. I said shut up.
Yeah,
that's just like, I think that's just like really the build up of the joke is right there, which is like the problem. And then you got because like I can feel the joke is like there was the something about the chalice, like. There was like the thing was like the story of the something chalice part 1, and it was just like part 2 coming soon at the end, and I'm just
all
like,
right.
But they spent too long in that song and kind of ruin the joke.
They basically
but like
did.
shit like Shut Up I Have an Erection was off that album. Was hilarious.
Wait, Shut Up I Have an Erection. Yeah,
Strawberries and Cream.
Okay, all right. I will give it that
it was that one, and it was the metal song where it was like where Brian just kept playing the reggae jam.
Okay, yeah.
Those are the only 2 songs that I love off that album. The rest of them just come in like
Yeah, so yeah, you're kind of right. So Strawberries and Cream was very mad. I think the humor was funnier on NSFW than it was on Attitude City for me, because I feel like Attitude City they just kind of I feel like they try too hard a little bit. Like nothing beats like Objects of Desire.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
that's the one song I think of whenever I think of like of the first album. It's just like just hearing that melody. I was like thinking about it this weekend, and I was just like.
Plus, like, it seems like the variety on NSFW is even a lot better than like the variety on Attitude City.
The only thing that kind of like loses me on NSFW was like Dinosaur Laser Fight. Even though it's like an alright song, but it's just kind of like I kind of lost interest. I lose interest when I hear that song.
I mean, I enjoy it just for its corniness, but I'd say it has a really good variety though, because I mean, like, Accept My Shaft.
Yeah, I know. Accept My Shaft. It's just
beautiful. It's like bluesy melody.
Yeah, well, yeah, I wouldn't say bluesy, but it is just like one of those like softer like pop piano things you'd hear and like musicians do, where they're like, I just want to play with just a piano behind me and just sing slowly, and like he did that, but just in a fun way, and I just love.
Yeah,
it's just like that line, just like gargling my bacon. And then, it is a little jazzy, but just like that just makes you so. I'm just like snapping a finger while you hear someone talk about just talking about their shaft. Yeah, and
like it was like perfect use of synth and piano, by the way.
There was like it is hard because I do still love the stuff on Attitude City. It is a great album.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy either of those albums as much as I did NSFW. Like, because NSFW just has classic songs, honestly.
Maybe, I don't know. Just like I never really was listened to NSP, so I just started at Attitude City because I was like, hey, I should check out their newest thing just because why not? Right. And I thought I thought it was just all hilarious. It was just like I enjoyed it a lot. It was good times. The thing that got me the most is just the end of Attitude City, where it's just like, let me get up to the close to the mic to show how sincere I am.
Okay, all right,
and just clips it hardcore. I was listening to that while I was working, and it just suddenly was just like, thanks, and I just burst out laughing while I was working. I was like, fuck, I cannot.
Catherine and I were kind of like sitting there with bated breath, like, wait, what's going on? And then there's like, he did that, and we were just like, we were dying so hard I actually had to pull over and laugh.
You could just hear like his like the microphone like in his mouth, and it's just like, whoa.
Like, wait, I don't even know if he did that with like an instrument mic or if he did that like with.
I think he did it with the vocal.
Sure, 58.
Yeah, I think he did it with a vocal mic because you can hear him like adjusting, moving away like the pop filter, just when the way that like the microphone shakes around, and then he just gets up with his mouth against it. I think it just kind of thanks. It just clips it hardcore. I was so happy.
I love how they just never edited out the audio clipping. They were just like, leave it.
Yeah, it was just because I want to think that was just spontaneous bullshit he just pulled.
Probably was.
It just like makes you happy, but I don't know. I had to think, but there were like certain songs that I enjoyed, like especially just the opening, the first song.
I have to say though, so I want to actually talk a little bit about Starbomb too, though.
Yeah,
like,
you should.
So Starbomb, I enjoy some of the gimmick of it, but it feels like too much at some points. Like it's just. Because video game referential humor is so overdone nowadays that it's just like it's tiring. Like I'm done hearing the same shit about video games. I mean, like they at least do some inventive stuff, like portray on Player Select, the second of the Starbomb trilogy. Third one isn't even out yet. Still, like they're still working on it, but they have a song dedicated to Super Smash Brothers, where it's like Luigi's trying to be meek and survive everyone kicking the crap out of each other. It's presented brilliantly, but then we just have songs where like Mario and Luigi are starting a band together and they have like Toad as the vocalist, and it's like, yeah, Toad screams. Toad can't actually sing. It's kind of funny, but I mean like it loses the charm after a while.
Yeah.
There was like some good creative stuff though on there too, like God of No More, where it follows like Kratos's like just like, endless quest to kill gods, whereas like they're making up like dumb bullshit like lesser known gods.
That's awesome. I actually kind of want to hear that now.
It's great.
That's beautiful.
But then there's a song about how Samus's foes want to be nice to her now that when they find out she's a girl and shit, and it's like
yeah, it's not a really funny concept.
I mean, it was presented interestingly. It just falls flat for me. Hardcore.
It's also the thing. I never really knew that there were like video game inspired like songs for them, because they don't, when they talk about Starbomb, there's like no, you never really hear that about them or just hear much about what Starbomb actually writes.
That's fair.
I hear the sound of everything and I'm like just like nah. It's because it's just too like. Just too bright, happy, synthy, and it's just like I can't, because at least with NSP you got songs that are like that can be like up here, and then songs that can just have a more aggressive sound, and then songs with a nicer sound. Just there's variations.
I mean, like Starbomb, I think would just be better if it was just like albums that like that like Danny and Ninja Brian released as like asides for Ninja Sex Party, because Aaron Hansen being part of the creative process of it, I don't think it works well for them.
Right. I don't know. I think that he just needs to maybe just kind of like, because he can do some stuff. I think he just needs to maybe he needs to like not filter himself as much. I think
maybe.
Just get a little, because when he starts to like push it into areas it shouldn't go, that's where he kind of shines in comedy. Maybe. He just like pushes the boundaries to a bit, and he's just kind of like, how far can I go right now?
I mean, yeah, I would appreciate a little bit of that, where Aaron at least like tries to go over the line like he would do in his old like Newgrounds animations,
or just any of his comics. Because when you hear him talking gamers, there'll be a thing where he just starts to talk about things that like would be kind of weird to any just normal being, about like talking about like just like hanging around your friends and seeing them naked or something, or just when you kind of push the thing, weird shit like that, where people like kind of go, what? Like I would never do such a thing.
That's fair.
I maybe. We're just like, you get that point where it's just like in the joke of the song, we're just like, and then he does, and then everyone's like, whoa, chill out, and we're like, yeah, it just kind of ends. Shit like that's funny.
Yeah. Have you ever listened to like Dan's like really old stuff like Sky Hill and the Northern Hues? I
don't think so.
Sky Hill is like really cool because it takes like a lot of like mid 2000s sounding pop and blends it with like rock and creates a really cool alt rock blend. Yeah. And it's got like some wonderful mastering for like a 2007 almost indie release. And like the Northern Hues it's kind of a lot. It's just basically like early 2000s pop, but like really good early 2000s pop. Like they listen to just a lot of what was popular in the very early 2000s and made an EP out of it. Like I don't think the Northern Hues really went anywhere after the EP though, which is sad. But like it was a good listen for what it was. Like my only complaint is that one of the songs are misspelled. Like Arrow is AROW. I don't know if that was part of the point of the song, but it still bugs me.
Yeah. You know, I always think about when I hear like when I hear like parts of like 69, I always kind of wish that there was sort of like they did more of that part where just like, you know, it's like sound the alarms and just like that harsh, like kind of hot voice going on. And I'm just like, I kind of wish they would use that in some sort of like at least some EP of some sorts where it was just a lot more of like heavy, like, you know, like more of heavy metally inspired kind of thing. Because I know he likes those kinds of, he does like because like, you know, Def Leppard kind of gets into that, and he does like some of those bands that kind of got into the more hair metally area. Mm-hmm. So I'd kind of like to, I wish I could see more of that, because it's just like an interesting, like, it was just like, you know, because you know what I'm talking about. We're just like, they got that, just that harsh, just like heavy metal kind of wail, and it's just like, damn, that's like spicy. Yeah. With some like NSP. I just want to see them like get together with like Twerp and just like do a heavy metal album, or just a hair metal album.
That'd be pretty cool.
And just have whoever did the guest vocals on it just on 69 just like be like do a dual vocal ship like Taking Back Sunday would do, just like two dedicated vocalists. They just have Dan and that other guest vocalist who I still don't know who it was on 69. I want to know, because they just had an amazing voice.
But I guess I think, could we like cut a little bit of discussion on Ninja Sex Party and just jump on to other things?
Yeah, because I can talk about one or two other things.
Let's go one more thing from each of us, and then we'll kind of close it there.
All right, good, because a lot of stuff I haven't had enough time to listen to it yet.
All right.
I had to think halfway through the week. I just got all my new music for the week, and I was just like, this is not enough time to listen to all of this.
All right.
It was just kind of like, so you kind of go in between things to listen to. It's just like, I could talk about my discoveries, but then it's also the thing I'm going to be talking about next week when I've actually listened to them enough. So it sucks. So the other thing I really actually have besides that was a band I found, because I'm sort of kind of reaching the end of like discovering through 9 strings and intense music. I kind of want to go back to clean vocal shit again.
All right.
But this is sort of for the end of it. Just I found a band that's sort of, they're 8-string guitars. I found it because I was just looking for bands on YouTube. There's just people with just anything from videos I can look up for searching 9-string guitar. And then I just got bored. I was like, you know, just search up 8-string guitar, because the 8-string still kind of had that sound sometimes. And found a video involving a guitarist of this band, which I found was a French band called Titans Fall Harder. Mm-hmm. Though they all the songs are in English.
All right.
I kind of wish it was in French. It'd be kind of neat. But yeah, they're weird.
They're weird.
They're because I played you with them before. It's just they're like the sort of genty, the sort of kind of gent going on, but with a lot of like synths behind it, and just like, and it's very, and like maybe kind of like techno-y, Eurobeat-y kind of thing going on with the synths. Sometimes it does that a little bit, but then the rest of it is just like, and then with those kind of like those weird kind of like drum and bass kind of sounding synth drums behind it sometimes. And it just after that, just like these just like these just chugging low like guitars and scream vocals.
But there is a really good album. Well, I guess it's okay. It's not perfect, but it's Hypernova by the Browning. I don't know if I may have just like given it away somewhere or something.
I don't know, but yeah, it's very interesting. Though I'd say kind of gets a little, maybe kind of, you know, you kind of lose interest a bit, because after a while the guitar tone isn't really that incredible. It's actually kind of very muddy and saturated, and I've heard a lot of better when you have a low guitar, like especially 8 or 9 string. You want a lot of a brighter, more like tone, nothing lifeless, because then those low strings just sound like ass. And when you're only playing a lot of like the same few notes and not really much of riffing, just straight gent, and leaving all of the interesting bits to synth, you kind of lose it. There's parts where it's like kind of they save it a little bit. Just it's not the best thing I've heard. This was their EP Evolve that I listened to. It's 7 tracks, not that long. It's pretty all right, I'd say. A-okay. I don't know. It's on Bandcamp, and Apple Music. Yeah. All right. Yeah, they have also a single that I kind of listened to it once. This is Titans Fall Harder. It's very, very neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. But I mean, I've from what you've shown me, they're just like a deathcore, the Browning, and I do recommend the Browning as like kind of as something similar to that, just kind of a little bit more heavy on the electronics and just kind of doing a little bit more to the metalcore side of things. Yeah.
Whoa! Like, I'm just watching the light show happen there. It's just colorful.
Just kind of toying around with like
just everything turned blue and green and orange and red, and I was just like, woo.
But yeah,
it's just like becoming a dance floor. You can just tile that around and just have it play at different times. It'd be a dance floor, just us.
Okay, but as I was trying to say, so yeah,
hello Adobe.
I don't even know how I started opening you.
After Effects. It just felt like it's needed.
But yeah, so
I want to be included, guys. Let me hear.
Adobe, I'm going to kill you.
Then next thing you know, he's gonna invite all of his friends. His Photoshop's gonna start popping up, and then Flash Player.
Do you want my computer to cry?
I want you to cry.
That's probably. I mean, that's fair, I guess.
Not live though, because that'd be weird.
That's true.
It would bring down the production quality.
Yeah.
No one needs to see that shit.
Yeah. So let's just talk about one more thing. So you remember Mike Skinner of The Streets fame? He released 3 new songs under The Streets recently.
I just remember when I did the thumbs up as a yes. I forgot we were an audio podcast. So yes, I have heard of him.
Yes.
You're not talking to just no one right now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm actually an existing human being.
Yep, that's cool.
With feelings and thoughts.
But yeah, so he released 3 new songs under The Streets relatively recently. One of them being, I'm actually gonna have to look at them.
Really?
Yes, really.
It took me a minute to like understand it because I was like, oh, you probably did some new project just under The Streets. Holy shit, that is cool.
Oh, he's got 3 new songs right now.
Wow. I guess he wants to do it again. That's cool.
Maybe. I mean, like, so first we have the single that released, 2 days before Christmas.
Why didn't I hear about any of
Burn
this?
Bridges, and Sometimes I Hate My Friends More Than My Enemies. And then you have a single that released, either, at the end of January. If You Ever Need to Talk, I'm Here. They're like... It's kind of interesting because it's a serious departure from what made Mike Skinner back in the early Streets. It's part of like that Cyberspace and Reds era where he's like kind of really involved in like what modern music is doing right now, and it's interesting. But I feel like I just miss what old Mike Skinner was doing.
Yeah, the problem is I've never listened to that album, so I don't know how this actually sound.
It's very house and trap inspired.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think it's overdone trap.
Yeah.
But there's like a really cool spacey production around it. I don't know if he's like self-producing or if he has like someone helping out.
He's historically self-produced because that's kind of where his passion lies, and all of it is just creating like all these beats and backing tracks. Because he even talks about it like in just like the Street score where he's just like he calls himself like a beat junkie because he just loves to sit in the studio and just make all of these kind of these songs out of all these like audio samples.
I feel that he was very he was pretty sample heavy in these two songs. Which is
why I'm not surprised he's come back to it, because it's like it's what he loves doing, and so he's like I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna give up on being the Streets and making music. And just like and so over time this is what any musician does. When you ever hear a single band this is for anyone who's like who needs this advice. If you listen to a single band musician of anyone who says, "I'm quitting music," 5 to 10 years later, they're gonna put out something new.
Yeah.
It happens. You can't escape. Milo from the Descendants once in a song said "I quit," as the song is actually called "I Quit" because he's saying he doesn't want to do music anymore. After their second most recent album, and then their most recent album happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so Strung Out gave up on writing music. Like 5-10 years later, they put out a new album. It just happens.
So there's no like update on his Wikipedia page with his like new songs.
I guess everyone just kind of didn't expect it. No one really knew what was happening. It just happened.
But yeah, like he released like three new songs, and
it's gonna spread.
It's following the same pattern of like, hey, there's a cigarette lighter there, but there's like no Streets logo on it. That's just kind of the logo.
Yeah.
Well, that's just kind of like the way the cover art looks. And the songs are interesting, but there's like there is his kind of sometimes standard like spoken word delivery. Then he's actually rapping in some spaces, and it's really cool kind of seeing him like come back to this project after probably in so many years as the DOT.
Yeah.
Like the DOT was his club duo from like the end of the Streets till I think he's still doing it, but I think he's like finally putting time into releasing music. It's just now he's distributing it under his own name instead of like through a record like he used to.
Yeah.
Through a record label like he used to. Well, I can speak English, but it's cool to see like what Mike Skinner will do now that he's basically releasing music independently of studios. If he's not going to be picked up by some sort of like big label again, like what is he going to do? Is he going to try and like stick to modern trends, or is he going to like try and do what makes him happy? Because I don't know if record labels were kind of making him do what he did on like Cyberspace and Reds, because Cyberspace and Reds was very trying to get into the modern club music scene.
It could have been him doing it because I don't know, he is kind of like aware of those kinds of stuff. Like I wouldn't put it past him to just try new things.
Yeah,
just to be like someone to do that. It is. I haven't heard it, but I actually didn't even know that he was on any sort of label, unless it was just like a small label.
I mean, his music, I believe, was on a label it was on Pure Groove. Like, he wasn't like any indie musician. Like, yeah, just Pure Groove.
Are they like, how big of a label are they? Are they like a serious kind of like, or is it like a Fat Records where they're like still pretty kind of picking up indie acts and just being sort of an indie label?
Let's see.
Because you got labels like, especially like Fat Records, especially who were around that time, were like putting out quality stuff at the quality of like actual big labels, but still being very independent and not really restrictive of your artists.
Pure Groove is like is a pretty popular label. It actually puts out releases music for the band Death from Above 1979. The punk, I think they're the folk punk duo from Canada or New York, I think. They're just kind of like a bunch of smaller acts, really. Like Well, there's Frank Turner in there. Frank Turner, is that a band artist that Dad likes?
Maybe I've heard that name before.
Yeah. But. So it doesn't seem like there's a lot of artists listed under it.
Yeah. So it's like I don't think they probably had that much like control over his creative process. I think he just kind of tried it. I don't know. I mean, he just does him, I guess.
That's fair. Oh wait,
Words.
Mick Shiner. All right, yeah. Mick Shiner was the guy who kind of owns the record label. I do want to hear more, because I've actually been listening to old Streets. I just heard like it was a Stay Positive just at the end, and I just like the way he just kind of like talks. He doesn't like he does that like thing where it's just like that what was it, the thing like the what, no, never mind. I think I know what you mean though. Like it's spoken word bit at the end where you're just kind of like
and just the whole time we're just kind of like talking normally, like he's not trying to rap. He's just like.
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
normally the entire song.
His spoken word.
Yeah, yeah.
Like his spoken word is very good. Like it's been good since the start.
You just never hear him do it a whole lot.
Like well, like as I've said before, one of the songs is very spoken word.
Yeah, but like a lot of his stuff in between, like then and now, it just kind of went straight to the rap.
I'd say Burn Bridges will at least like make you kind of happy hearing it.
Yeah,
and you'll probably enjoy a little bit of the which one was it? Sometimes I hate my...
Yeah, because I love his spoken word, because it's just like when he does it, it just makes it sound more like real, and he's like having a real like just like a real talk moment with you, and it's just like he's like, I'm sitting you down, this is some serious shit.
Yeah, if you
just
haven't
like,
to talk
damn,
on
that's
here,
cool.
the single from late January, you'll love it just because it has that sort of real talk, like spoken word bit. It's not really rap heavy at all.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of hope that we kind of see like old productions.
Yeah, I would like to see
like the old original Pirate material.
Yeah.
How it was like, it was very sample heavy, and like it was focused more on like some slower beats and like atmospheric beats.
Yeah, I'd like to hear like strings come back into his music again.
Yeah, a little bit of strings, a little bit of like that piano that in Stay Positive. And,
yes, and just what was it? This song? There was one of the songs earlier in that album. Weak Become Hero.
Yes, Weak Become
it's
Heroes.
Just that jazzy, just dun 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 dun, just like that, just slowly ascending kind of thing. I was just like, that is so nice.
That I would love to hear come back, but I mean, again, it's these kind of sound like just modern, trying to take the ideas of like modern hip hop and club music and like kind of twisting them to like how we desire. So I don't know if we'll ever see that stuff come back, because that is like kind of old stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed, because you know what? It's 2018. Anything can happen at this rate.
I mean, I can bring it back if I want to.
You should.
I should one day.
Like basically just produce beats and have people like kind of spoken word or rap over them.
I could literally just I could do that. I have all the technology. Actually, what I need to do is I need to calibrate all my MIDI, like in program MIDI sounds, because what happens is I can assign any sound to any key. So like, and I have whatever note I have on the C4 is not actually a C4, so I have to learn how to calibrate them. To make sure I set up all the keyboards so they're preset, so the entire keyboard is in the actual notes it should be, and then I can write in actual keys.
Why don't we just get you like one of those like touch pads with all like the little buttons that you assign like different sound effects to, like the ones that people use to live mix songs.
But that costs money.
I mean, I saw one on Sweetwater for about $100.
That costs money. I need to stop spending money. I'm like right now I have a lot of big purchases going through, so I can't spend any more money.
That's fair.
Like the only thing I can allow for a tech right now is just a SM57, but I'm hoping that I can get the EP done and start to give them out and sell things, so I can actually put that towards the mic.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm not buying any more tech after that. I just literally need to record my guitar playing a C4 so that I can calibrate everything.
All right.
I just haven't done that. I should just like do that.
But all right. So I think this kind of does it for like music we've listened to this last week. So again, excited as fuck for whatever Mike Skinner's gonna be putting out.
Ooh, I'm thirsting.
I kind of hope that Dan Avidan at least like does more of like the alt rock stuff.
Yeah,
like, cause I mean, like,
I want to hear him in like Twerp putting out some like good like stuff with some nice fat bass and like some kind of a bit more crunchy guitar, stuff like that.
What was the first thing you were talking about, by the way?
What do you mean?
Before I started talking about Cheshire. Like Cheshire, I'm interested to check out Cheshire.
Yeah, you should check out. They put out a new album, I think 1 or 2 years ago. I think it was like 2016.
Also, and Titans is weird, and
yeah,
I mean, I'll give him a shot.
I want to wait and see what happens if they kind of change their guitar tone, because their guitar tone is just needs to improve before they can really get like they sound very unique. Because right now you can say it's kind of very bland because the guitar tone is just very very saturated, very just overdriven, and that's the only quality to it.
All right.
It's not like After the Burial, where like their guitar tones have this weird kind of like bright, like just this like very just like this very bright harsh sound that just cuts through everything. Like this guitar just kind of it's muddy and just kind of stays back in all the like the songs, and it's not enough.
All
It's
right.
not enough.
But I think this does it for talking about music we've been listening to.
Yeah.
So we're gonna dive a little bit into some music.
Lordy.
To pad out the
Oh,
episode,
oh,
just
lordy.
give us a little bit of time to breathe and whatnot. You know.
Get some time.
But yeah,
Time
so
to cry.
enjoy some tracks from Laughing Death, the album that we're reviewing in just a moment. So we'll start off now. Oh, hey, everybody. Hey, it's good to be back. Good to be back on the Rockland of Rebel Radios.
I was doing up. I was talking under the pencil. I gotta talk over the pencil.
Yeah, you gotta talk over the pencil.
Talking over the pencil.
I'm glad that you're you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing.
I'm learning.
I'm glad you're learning.
Even though I've already know like 70% of the breathing techniques they already showed me, because I do them for a cappella choir.
All right, I was like, this is my first time being exposed to all the different breathing techniques.
Like I have to do. We do it once every week, where we just kind of we lay on the floor, and we'll work on breathing with the side. Though my professor does not do a good enough job explaining it like she did. Mm-hmm. Like, because I didn't really know about the diaphragm or the ribs, the floating ribs. Mm-hmm. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. So, and I was already learning some of that just on my own, but it just wasn't enough. I know. It's just like, and I was just like, oh, so like it was sort of like helping me understand how to sing properly, because I have to do that for college.
Like Melissa Cross is going to be a wonderful instructor. Do you have that DVD with you yet, or are you still working?
I have it with me. I'm still getting through first DVD.
All right. Do you think we can trade off week after week?
Maybe. I don't know. Do you need the second CD or the first CD?
Oh, the CD is just like.
Is the second one just all of the breathing techniques? And
all the techniques.
Because I can leave you the second CD if that's what you need.
No, the second CD is just like a bunch of like helpful things to listen to, kind of remind you of like, hey, these are some of the things you're supposed to do when you're doing the
so you need one
thing, you know?
You sure you can't just like rip it onto another CD that I can keep with me?
Rip it onto
rip it onto another DVD.
I can look into it
because I can actually even pull up the files from it.
You mean like the DVD?
Yeah, because my DVD somehow I was able to open up video files on it.
Let's look at it real quick before we leave.
Yeah, I will.
But anywho, let's get on to the topic at hand, which is OroborO's
all the topics you talk about are at hand. Why can't they be like at foot or at knee?
Angus, stop speaking.
I say it because you do say it. Because every time we go into this review segment, I just say something just different, and then we're gonna have to be like, well, let's get to the topic at hand, and it happens every episode. And I'm like becoming self-aware about it.
You make a point there. But all right,
back to the topic at hand.
So,
woo, throwing shade.
Laughing Death, OroborO's debut album. OroborO being a art rock band, I'd say. Art rock.
I'd say some weird indie rock, grungy, whatever the fuck. I don't know. I need help.
Sure. All right. But, yeah, they're based out of Hadley. OroborO is comprised of Nate, who does guitar and synths, Emily, who does the vocals, Jordan on drums, and then Spencer on bass and Really Good.
That's an instrument.
Yes.
just the Really Good. It was created by the end of the late romantic period. Late romantic period. By John Schwitz Browning.
It was also recorded and mixed by Andrew Odell at Ghost Hill and recording in Holyoke, Mass. Mastered by Richard Marr at Galaxy Park Studios. And I'd just like to take a moment to read the additional thanks to section because it's pretty great. Hunter, Bling Mansion, Andrew Odell and and Ghost Hit Records, Bobby Casserole, thanks. The Flip, Gren, Nick's Rug, Mint Palace, and the Boys. Ray, Taco Bell, Mantha, Emma, both of them. Bailey, the Chicago Crew, the Smith Crew, OK Cupid, Bingus, Sam Yu, Kyle, Eric Prizes, Greg, Trevor, the 4 moms that made this possible, Our Nightmares, the Rhode Island Scene, the New Hampshire Crew, Love and Camaraderie, and all our families and friends, and all the rad bands we have had the chance to play with.
Yo, for the boys. They should have had like a for the Grove.
Stop.
God damn it, CJ.
Also, just like to say that the cover art is friggin' phenomenal. That is like some cool ass shit, like kind of going with the theme of the band, the name of it.
Can we make John Schwitz Browning like just a returning joke?
John
Schwitz Browning. It was the guy who invented the what was it? The yes good, what was it?
What?
He invented the very good or whatever. What did the bassist say?
Oh, really good.
The really good. Yeah, he invented the really good.
Wait, who what?
Wait, what did it say for the basses? It was saying he played bass and really good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like the really good's an instrument that invented by John Schwitz Browning in the late Romantic period.
Wait, that's actually an instrument?
No, I was bullshitting. I was just making shit up. I was just like, yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, this is an actual instrument that invented by John Schwitz Browning.
Now I feel like an idiot.
Yeah,
it's your goal in life.
Everyone's an idiot in my eyes.
True.
Yeah,
but
that's why I don't have many mirrors around me. Wow. That wasn't throwing shade, but was throwing shade.
But alright, so
fuck.
This album's about 42 minutes long, got about 7 tracks on it, and came out January 12th, so we're a little bit behind on the thing. It's like only January 20th-ish.
Hey, we were just building up the hype.
That's true.
Just the hype train. Good hype.
But also it's timely because they just finally got CDs. Finally.
Hell yeah, boy.
Because whatever company they were dealing with is Garbo. Like, the previous company didn't have the CDs on time for their release show. Okay, can you stop now?
Yes.
But yeah, so what were your initial impressions going into this release?
I was ready for this one. This one, I'm not going to fuck it up.
Okay.
This one, I'm not just going to make a noise awkwardly and be like, good.
Okay.
Okay.
You have the floor.
Damn. I own it now. I have to deal with maintaining this floor because it's under my ownership. No, but when I saw this, and then I saw this album, saw everything, I didn't know a single thing about this band because I usually never do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm always like, what is this? What am I listening to? What's he got me into this time? But so I heard the name. I thought, it's a strange name. There's bands like that. I heard the album's called Laughing Death, and I saw kind of the album artwork, so I thought this was going to be more intense, more on the side. I just assumed something like a grindy, deathy kind of thing going on.
I was imagining just straight noise punk all throughout the record would be the case.
Well, I just heard that, and I'm like, that could sound like one of those newfangled, just smaller, just death metal-y, just black metal-y, growly kind of vocals, and and very intense, but like Sepultura, where it's or just kind of simple guitar work, just simple, just not just modern, just chug core.
All right, that's fair.
I expected, and then I heard the first song, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what am I listening to? I'm confused.
Oh yeah, I totally understand that. Like when you listen to Demogorgon, it's like,
you're like, oh, this is not what I expected at all. But then again, later it does get really heavy, and then she kind of the vocalist does start doing some kind of screams. And it's like, okay, that's where I was expecting.
Effects layered on it, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it was like that's the part of this I was expecting, where the more evil looking artwork and the laughing death, and it was just like when it gets and shit just goes intense. You're like, shit hits the meat fan. It's like, all right.
Shit hits the meat fan.
Yeah. Like the meat fan, like the one that was in that one fighting game that was extremely bloody. A Slaughterhouse.
All right.
Yeah, it was like shit hits the actual meat fan.
Yeah, I'm gonna just like play little sound bits here, just so I can like get a mild refresher.
Just
here
like a clap, clap, cut it out, cut it, cut.
I mean, it's like really quiet.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so yeah.
I can just kind of keep talking.
But yeah, like
you got to do the work to have to be able to remember the songs, like I don't do sometimes.
But
when I forget the song, I listen to it after the show. I'm like, oh, you're talking about that song.
I
Okay.
had similar initial impressions too. I originally discovered them on Bandcamp when doing that search of like, all right, hey, what's coming out? What's coming out soon or what's already come out? What can I kind of like
coming out the poop chute? That needs to be the new expression. Instead of coming down the pipeline, just coming out the poop chute.
No.
Or whatever they called old-fashioned like toilets back in like castles. That'd be a cool expression.
Give me one reason I shouldn't turn off your mic right now.
Because I'm giving content.
That's true. Okay, but
this is adult content though.
Let me speak though.
Yes.
Okay, so my initial impressions, I first heard "Baked Acid," that song, because it was released as a single in December, and I discovered it on Bandcamp, and I was like, all right. So I was ready for like the noise punk elements of this record, but then when I heard everything else, like the slower, like I'd say the slower. Whatever is like the start of songs like Little Centipede, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying.
Like
it's just kind of
stuff like that. It was just like I think it's like kind of groovy a little bit, but like like a little.
It was like the first track were just full on, just more kind of like there's more sounding like indie, just like more of like an indie kind of sounding thing going on. Just like you're like this is some weird like just more modern day indie rock kind of thing going on. Yeah, and then it gets weird and intense, and you're like, oh okay, this is not what you're like. I've been duped like twice.
Yeah, I mean like I was ready for noise punk, but I wasn't ready for everything else in this record, and I was pleasantly surprised.
I wasn't ready for anything. My body was not ready.
But it was a really fun time listening to it. I think there was a lot of like really. I think this is where they actually like went into like making this very mathy, because they describe themselves as also a math rock band. Like the drumming is going to be a little irregular, of course.
Yeah, I could hear that, especially with the parts. It was just like and like everything just cut. Yeah, that part, which I think that was in like that was the thing for Little Centipede, wasn't that?
Yeah, Little Centipede.
Yeah, that was a little thing where it just kind of like where everything got on that single note together, and it was just like this weird, just irregular, just like. Things that would make a like an actual just regular music teacher just go Argh!
Actually
like they'd have a full-on migraine because they don't understand it.
I think throughout like most of the record, like the bass was playing like along with the rhythm, and like a guitar wasn't really having any sort of melody whatsoever, just kind of like screeching and soaring all throughout the mix, but it like had a really cool like ambiance to it.
Well, that's like the natural thing of guitar, the bass and drums, which is something I was actually just researching today, where just like drums and bass actually just in any traditional music need to work together.
Bass was also carrying the melody a little bit too, though. Like
which is also a neat thing. Not many people do it. Many people just leave it to all the high notes, especially with a lot of when you get into the more of like the alto soprano range. Everyone's just like, hey, you got the melody, but like sometimes I just love it when people go, bass has the melody. You're just like
and the guitar's just doing this weird shit off in the corner, but it's like it's got its nice like atmosphere laid in all throughout the record.
It just sounds like that, like the way all the instruments function sounds like rooted in like more like classic music, especially when you had things like just jazz in the first half of like the 20th century, where it's just like where instruments have a role, the bass is handling down that groove, and sometimes get the especially when you have those three pieces, especially nowadays too in jazz, we have that bass is doing that, just that kind of working in the rhythm with the drums. They're working in together, but the bass is also kind of doing a melody, while the guitar or the piano, whatever that third instrument is just putting out these chords, and sometimes making a chord melody, or sometimes just being chords.
There's
with the
some points
bass
where it
line.
doesn't even sound like chords though. It
Yeah.
just sounds like shrieking over the top of everything else.
That's where the indie grunge thing comes in, and it just gets weird.
It is, but
it's like, you ready to get weird? No, good.
Yeah,
that's what that album does to you.
Like, if you're ready to get weird and hear like stuff that you didn't expect to hear before, then pop this on this record, and for like 42 minutes you'll be like, oh.
And if you're not ready to get weird, put this album on anyway. Just do it.
Yeah, do it.
Just get weird, even if you're not ready for it. That's the better way to happen.
Like, I'd say like this record. Like, what were your favorite songs on this record?
Some of my favorite songs were I was trying to, because it was like Demogorgon, just because it was just, I don't know, it always sticks out to me whenever I first hear it.
Yeah.
And just especially a lot of the sound and the mixing, like the way it starts off. Sorry, it's like, that was bad. Like the way it starts off with the voice, the vocal track. Oh yeah, I know, I saw that too. It concerned me. Mm-hmm. But you know how the vocal track starts off, but it just has this weird sound to it. Mm-hmm. Where like, it just, something about it sounds different than just a normal vocal track. Like some of the effects they put on, like, yeah, like it just sound like everything gets quiet, just like weirdly sounds centered in your head. I'm like, what is this going on? And that shit just puzzles me.
Vocal delivery is just phenomenal.
It's good. That just kind of made me think of, like, especially it just thought of like some of the vocal melodies that like old vocal deliveries Ian MacKaye used to do back in some of their more like indie rock sounding Minor Threat songs, where you just like talk in this weird voice and then just get serious and just like, But it was that, and then there was Baked Acid.
Oh yeah, Acid
was one I really enjoyed, because it, and that and I Love You, because I think I Love You was also one of the more intense kind of songs going on.
I Love You. It
was like one of those, like, back and forth.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was sad, because I remember that was one of my favorites, but then I can't remember right now what it sounded like.
I honestly, like, I can see why you liked I Love You, but I feel like it pales in comparison to the outright insanity of Kuru. Kuru, like, was just kind of going into like the gritty, dark.
I don't entirely remember Kuru all that. Like, I've listened to this album a few times, but that song always kind of missed that song whenever I listen to it.
I also actually miss Swamp a little bit. Like, I try and like. It doesn't feel like it has identity as much as every other song.
I hear Swamp, when I listen to it again, I'm like, okay, I remember that song, but like, it was just, I don't know. It was like a pretty alright song.
Yeah, like, I enjoy everything on this record. It's just like Demogorgon, Little Centipede, Baked Acid, I Love You, and Kuru are like the most memorable. So basically everything but Baked Acid, Reprise, and Swamp are...
Yeah, I kind of missed... I didn't even know Baked Acid, Reprise, what that was until I actually looked at that. I'm like, hey, what is that? And I checked that. I'm like, oh, that's just some kind of in-between thing.
I like how... I like how it is. It's just a reprisal of like that, like the slower melody towards the end of Baked Acid. Yeah. And it kind of acts as a nice bridge between I Love You and Kuru. I mean, as like a song in itself, it feels like it's weird trying to give it a place, but it feels like they're trying to be conceptual here, and I'm just not picking up what's supposed to be the concept here.
It is. I didn't entirely pick it up. I was like, I wonder what they were trying to do with that, because I should listen to that again, because I didn't like really notice what it was taking out of Baked Acid, but I'll look into it again, just listen to it. But I still doesn't change that I did love that song. And when I heard that shit, that's where I thought the grunge, and it kind of made me like, I almost kind of want to hear them like just like perform the bonus track off of Nevermind. It was like Loveless and Nameless or something like that. Mm-hmm. Or just where it's that shit where it's just like the the bass is just grumbling low shit. The guitar just has this like chorus effect on it, and it's just making and like Kurt Cobain just like strumming it, and then just like jacking up the whammy bar and just making these weird squealy noises, and he's just like shouting things weirdly, and the drums are just going forward, and the bass is just chugging these low, just dirty notes. It's just evil shit. That's my it actually inspired
the evil shit is what I like. Yeah. And what kind of really comes through in Kuru, if you kind of like can put the pieces together.
Yeah, I need to listen to that again and really, because it just, I always kind of miss that song. Even when I'm like intently like listening to it, something always happens where I just kind of like miss that song. And and it's just like the end of the song and something else comes on. I'm like, fuck. Mm-hmm. So I'm like shit. But I don't know, shit like this is what inspired like my Bobcat Alley project, where it was just like nice and then shit gets bad.
Yeah.
Like it was like they're doing that same kind of part of like grungy element where it's just like this is your standard song, and then everything goes to shit, and it just like it's what I appreciate of those kinds of genres.
Right. I think I just love how in this record every song they start off with like kind of like a simple premise, and then there's like it builds up to like all hell breaking loose.
It becomes this big long journey as if you're like walking to fucking Mordor or something.
No, you're walking through like the set of the 1980s movie Heavy Metal, like the animated film.
Oh yeah.
Like you're just walking through it as it's like happening. It's like things are going normal, then just like shit hits the fan and like, oh fuck.
No, it's you're walking to Mordor and you realize that you left the oven on. You go back and you have to do it again. That's what it is. It's just shit like that. Or it's just like you stop outside your house. You're like keys.
So like that's like the part where it's like it's really mellow, and then it's like the journey there is like fucking insane.
And then afterwards you find out, hey, this is that kind of restaurant my friend was telling you about, and you go chill out there for a little while.
And then it's like, hey, it's a nice little chill out spot. But then the restaurant
and then you realize that there wasn't actually there isn't any Wi-Fi there, and you're like, and then you kind of get a little irritated. And you're like, I want to check my phone, but I have no service or Wi-Fi. But then you go out on the road again, you have service, and you're like, yeah, but then there was also a lot of shitty comments on your like Twitter post, and you're like, fuck. I'm in one of those moods right now.
This fits, but yeah, this fits in a weird way. But like
I have a weird way with words.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh my god.
I'm like the embodiment of grunge.
Sure, let's go with that.
I'm like a less musical grunge.
So your favorite tracks are basically like Baked Acid and I Love You.
Yeah, and
Demogorgon.
Yeah.
I can agree with you on like Demogorgon there. Like Demogorgon has like a really nice indie rock sound and like breaks into the madness at just the right point where it like really primes us for what's coming up ahead.
And it just a lot of like just like a lot of the mixing on all those on that track just sounded great.
Oh yeah.
But, like you really like I don't know, it's really hard to explain that first thing in the beginning where it's just like just like the way that was mixed, where it was just like right there in your head, like somewhere in a weird position that you like, because Tool did something similar. I know you're probably sick of hearing about Tool.
Oh yeah, I know, because Adam talks about them incessantly.
There's a song off their album Undertow. What was it called? It was the one right after Sober. It was what was it? No, it was like around Sober. I think it was the song Prison Sex, which is actually about prison sex.
Oh,
which is funny. But no, there's like this part where just like, no, it wasn't Prison Sex. It was one of the songs. It was like before or after. I actually want to look at that now. It was a song where like the vocalist comes back in and it's just like, see me naked, and just like, but it surrounds you, his voice, instead of being right there. It just surrounds you in the background. You're like, how do they do this? Because this album was 1995, I think, or something like that. So it's just like, how did he do that? And just like, but it just
95 mastering is like. Mixing and mastering like that in that era is really weird because you have to hit it at the right moment. But like with modern tech, it's a lot easier, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that is actually achieved pretty well on the Broken Social Scene album "You Forgotten People" that I mentioned like a couple episodes ago, where they have like cool positional like mastering.
Yeah. It's just the thing with like what the Tool did with the song is called Bottom. That's what I was thinking of. It's just like where like they put the voice, they have something going on with the voice in a certain spot that just doesn't make sense to your brain, and you're like you can't understand where that noise is coming from, and like it happens when I hear that, and it just like you feel this thing, and it's just like you're like I can't. And your head's like in a way like not even vocalizing it, just being like I can't. What is that? What's going on? Where is this noise coming from? And you just can't, and no matter how much you listen to it, it just doesn't make sense. You can't say, because if I hear someone like on the left side and going to the right, I'm like, yeah, they're on the left, they're on the right, they're over there. But just when I hear that thing they do in that song, just like I can't. understand it.
So basically, there's that
I
whole.
want to know
diatribe
how
is-
they do that. I want to like ask them and see,
I mean,
or
like-
ask whoever mixed it and just be like, how did you do that? Because that is like, I love that sort of shit.
You can, because his name is Andrew Oedel at Ghost Hit.
I'm gonna find
And
it
you
down.
can also talk to the dude who mastered it, Richard Marr at Galaxy Park Studios,
Yeah,
if you really want
I
to.
want to talk to either of them, see who is responsible for that nonsense, because I want to know.
Mm,
I want to know what love is.
shut the hell up.
I want you to show me.
But all right, so I think let's kind of summarize our thoughts. Like,
Yay!
so summarize it and like, would you recommend this? Who would you recommend this to, and why would you recommend this?
I'd recommend this. I'd recommend it to anyone who I know isn't ready for this. Who just isn't mentally prepared for this journey of a ride. If anyone gave me the aux cable, because this is the thing, when I'm with friends, I always hope they give me the aux cable or the connection to the any sort of connection or Bluetooth to their stereo, because I want to play them stuff like this and just make them go, what do you listen to? What is this?
Yeah.
That's just what I want to achieve, and this is like perfect music for that.
It really is.
It is also just fun for people who just like weird music, who just like, if you tell them, hey, there's this band that plays guitar but they play it play backwards, or they play the guitar with their feet, and you're like, yeah, I want to listen to that.
Yeah.
This is that music for those weird people who I know just want to like, all the people you can go up to and like, hey, you ever heard a 9-string guitar? No? Here. And they'll be like, yes.
Yeah.
Just those kind of people. The kinds of people who love it when you invite them to Tony Danza's tap dance extravaganza.
Yeah.
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 I feel like this is a good album for people who are like, people who just like music in general, like who are, those of them who are like really invested in music and really want to see like what can be done with the sound exploration. Like, but those who aren't like just like, I want to hear just listen to all ambient stuff. Like they gotta be like ready to hear some really in your face bullshit.
Yeah.
Like basically anyone who's a fan of Tool will probably like this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyone who's a fan of, say, of grunge stuff, or more kind of weird kind of Tool stuff,
Or
and
anyone who's a fan of just like the math rock scene will probably get a good kick out of this too. Like this is a weird, trippy, psychedelic, outright insane.
this is some weird, trippy, psychedelic ass bullshit.
Sure, but not bullshit, because it is good stuff.
Well, bullshit can be good shit.
Just stop. Just
Hey,
stop.
Mythbuster showed you can polish a turd. That happened.
Sure, okay, fine.
You can have good bullshit.
You win this one.
Woo!
But yeah, so like, point is, this record is really good for everyone, for people who like are just really into music and what can be done with it, as far as experimentation, as far as like unconventional songwriting goes, as far as like just how weird someone can take it. Like, I wouldn't suggest this as someone who just likes country music or just the standard pop music. Like, this will scare the crap out of them and be like, yeah, no, I'm not taking any more of your suggestions ever again.
I'd only do it to people who listen to those genres if I know they're just kind of a weird person in some aspect. Like a bunch of my weird friends who only kind of listen to like more of electronic-y kind of music, I just throw them this their way, and they'll be like, what? Like the same people I would like if I had their aux and I'm like, I had Tony Danza's, like if I had Danza 3 just on my iPod, I'd just be like, hey guys, you want to hear something interesting?
yeah.
And play that for them.
I think like people like Pat Malone too, who just like experiment with weird, like even experiment with weird like pop, like stuff like that. I'd say like Pat Malone would be like perfect to like listen to this band.
I made like a personal like quest that one of these days when I'm with Pineapple and Dolus, I'm just gonna have my iPod ready for just weird shit if I ever got the chance to put it into something. But like, hey guys, you get to listen to my music now. What some of the, like I have the list of like we're talking like Glass Cloud, Tony Danza, like some Ninja Sex Party songs, because I don't know how familiar they are with them. Like I want to throw Road Trip on there because it starts off like a normal song. He's like, hey, I have a good girlfriend, and then he's just like, fuck her, and just like fuck that girl and just leave. And it's just like, it's just an experience. I just want them to freak out and be like, what do you listen to? What is this? I love when people do that.
But yeah, point is, listen to OroborO if you really
Yeah.
enjoy experimental music. If you really enjoy like
If you ever
an
heard
interesting
Loveless,
experience.
yeah, if you ever heard Loveless Nameless and you're like, I want more of that, you go to this.
If you enjoyed like chaos and just very patrician music, you'll probably enjoy what these guys have to offer.
Patrician. What does patrician mean?
Like patrician is it's like a way of just describing like people. I can't even just. I said it without even knowing what it meant.
Patrician just sounds like some like Yu-Gi-Oh like Yu-Gi-Oh trying to be like act cult, like all occult, like that's what it sounds like. It's like
So-
I summon like the harrowing patrician or something like that. Like
The
Just like, what?
current the old definition is an aristocrat or nobleman or belonging to characteristics of the aristocracy. So probably it's used more in the sense of like something of high class, something of a high tier. Like you one could say that Tool's music is patrician, as it like it is for people who have a higher understanding of what music is, and
yeah,
like
where you can just hear the guitar and be like, what? If anyone doesn't understand how to play a guitar, they'll be like, what bullshit is this guitar playing? Is but when you actually can play guitar and learn, you're just like, this makes sense in a way.
yeah.
Because if you ever look at the way, if you ever learn how to play the guitar part for "Sober" by Tool, it's just the guitars using all these notes to make these weird noises, and it's just like, it's not just typical guitar, it's just typical like major scale guitar chords, normal shit like that. It is just fucked up. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's one song that I don't think I'll ever be able to learn by ear because it just doesn't make sense.
Well, I'd also just like to take a moment to say I'm going to rate my this record, OroborO's "Laughing Death," an okay sticker out of Steve Burns' "A Song for Dust Mites."
I'm gonna rate this a patrician out of John Schwitz. Fuck. What was his name? John Schwitz Browning.
John Swift Browning.
Schwitz Browning. Yeah.
All right, sure, yeah, let's go with that. That's the official rating, and yeah. So, someone just punched us already because, as Cam's illustrated to us, like this is a really stupid rating system.
It's like a throwback
Yeah,
Sunday.
sure.
Sunday.
Was there any interesting music news that really cropped up to you relatively recently?
I don't know. I don't think so, except for did Andrew WK's album come out yet? I
No,
think
it's coming out next month. They had a new single out recently for it.
I thought it was coming out this month.
It's March.
Oh, March. Fuck. I thought it was coming out sooner. I keep thinking it's coming out sooner than it is.
I'm just gonna look at Consequence of Sound real quick. Let's see if we got any.
I'm just trying to remember music
articles.
news.
Mark.
I know
Mark
something
Kozlowitz-
happened recently. I feel like I know something happened and I don't remember what it was. I'm kind of upset with just because I mean there's the news of Gibson that happened.
Oh, yeah, Gibson's going under.
It's not just Gibson's going under. It's Gibson's putting the final nails in its coffin. I think they're dead set. As a certain, I think I'm quoting something where I say dead set on suicide.
Maybe
That's like a song title or something. That explains entirely what they're doing right now.
all right.
The modern V is the name of the knot they're tying for their noose. That's what it is. With their Star Trek bullshit ass looking guitar.
Yeah, I mean, like I believe they've also not. They've announced that they're officially about to file bankruptcy.
Yeah, that's what the whole news is. What happened this week, which is like
after
they've
116 years of being a business.
yeah, they're filing for it. You know, I wonder how the CEO still acts oblivious to this though.
And also, so someone, this is a bit of news that's off in the distance. So Car Seat Headrest, a known indie sad rock band, and Smash Mouth are releasing a collaborative split single.
Wow.
It's 1 year ago, an innocent Twitter user suggested a split EP between the indie rockers Car Seat Headrest and 90s pop rock act Smash Mouth. And no.
It's happening. I'm hoping that's what happens with my tweet at Amir.
Maybe.
That better happen.
But this is more fueled by memes than anything. Yours is just fueled by desire that everyone else has for Amir to pick up regime for the tour.
I just had to vocalize it. Someone needs to say it to them.
Well, like everyone's been vocalizing it on like events.
Yeah, but were they adding everyone? Because does not everyone just directly says it to them.
Apparently, like each of the split single is Smash Mouth playing a Car Seat Headrest song, and then Car Seat Headrest playing a Smash Mouth song. It's whack.
Damn, this is crazy.
Also,
this is crazy.
Also, cool thing that's been happening recently. So, Kendrick Lamar basically headed the effort to creating the new record for basically the accompanying soundtrack to Black Panther, the new Marvel movie that came out, and it's pretty dope. I actually saw Black Panther on Friday night with my friends, and it was a great experience musically because it included a lot of like tribal African folk music alongside like the score of hip hop that was kind of interspliced throughout the movie, and it just kind of really created a cool atmosphere that I think is very unique to this movie. Like that's something I just kind of wanted to share with you. I'd say if you are interested in what I have to say about it, like what I've just said about it, like
I might check it out. I still am behind on many Marvel movies and need to catch up.
I mean, all you really need to be current with, you just need to know like what happened in Civil War and how that affects.
I didn't even see Winter Soldier.
All right, so we're basically gonna have to just play a big catch-up game.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the Thor movies. I think I only saw Iron Man 1. And I think 2 is also important. 3, I don't think 3 was as important. I think 3 was just a throwaway.
I think Iron Man 2 was kind of established some things. Iron Man 3 was the better of the two sequels. But we're getting a little bit off topic anyway. Like, we'll catch this kid up on Marvel movies so he can finally watch Black Panther and enjoy
and watch Civil War, even though I already know how bits of it happen, and I'm like kind of. But it's also because people are talking about the comics too, and the comics already say what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah,
it's like, fuck.
There's also the adaptation. It changes things too.
Yeah, but I was like, I didn't, because I heard about the Captain America thing. I'm like, fuck, I didn't want to know that.
Yeah, but
I was pissed.
I mean, that's what everyone knew going into the movie anyway.
Yeah, but it's just like I didn't know, and I was kind of I wanted to be like have it be a pleasant surprise.
All right, but I think that's all it really is for music news, really. So we'll just close out the episode.
What happened with Trapped in the Closet 2? Did that already come out?
I don't know. I know that
I'm curious when that comes out.
Jared McGee had Nathan listen to all of Trapped in the Closet when
they
went to
did they finish all of it? Because I know he said that they stopped at Bridget. When Bridget was when they talk about Bridget cheating on her husband with a midget.
I don't know.
I think he said that in the comments, and like, you need to finish all of this. Jared was so that's like Jared, right? The one you keep talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was happy with the things I was saying about Trapped in the Closet. I think me and him would become best friends. I gotta see when Trapped in the Closet 2, but actually I didn't know Jared like. Because it seems like Jared probably religiously loves it like I do. Where Trapped in the Closet is like an experience, and everyone needs to experience that.
Probably loves it like that. But some interesting news. My Guilty Pleasures, a punk rock band from Abington, released their new single on Together Records. This is like a debut single, I guess. Maybe. I just heard about these guys just this second ago, looking at this. They've actually had some stuff. They've been doing stuff since 2015, apparently. All right.
Where's the thing about the Trapped in the Closet sequel? Because I was hearing about that. Where did that
trying to find it. Could be getting a sequel. There it is. Getting a sequel. 33 chapter saga. 33 chapters?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know it was 33 chapters. Wow, I guess the one I only have is 12 chapters.
Yeah, because Trapped in the Closet as a yeah.
Oh, it's like a multi-album thing.
yeah.
Oh, okay, that explains it. Where was the thing? I want to read through it because I found the article that was back in 2017. It was back in April.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was like yeah, I just want to know because I'd love to hear him do it again, especially because it ended so vaguely at the end. Where it was kind of a smart. I might have to listen to it again because I think I missed parts of
so
it.
you only listen to like 1 through 12?
I've listened to all of. I've watched because he put videos to all of it or almost all of it, and so there's some bits I might have missed. So I'm gonna go through and listen to all of it.
Have you listened to 23 to 33?
Because I know at the end he gets to the when they're on the talk show, which is like where everything's narrated from.
All right.
And I think that's the end of it.
Like, are you because there is Trapped in the Closet, the big package, which is like everything from like chapter 1 to 22.
Oh.
And then like 2013, there was a release of 10 more chapters, 23 to 33.
I might have not have watched 23 to 33.
Because
I know
release of it.
Yeah, because I know I got to the part where they were on the talk show called Trapped in the Closet, which is just kind of like bringing the story full circle.
Mm.
And they never went into what the package was, so I was like, fuck.
It's like I haven't even sat down and listened to Trapped in the Closet.
You
yet,
need to.
I'm basically like hearing everything about it.
Ian, no matter what I say, I can't spoil anything because shit's so vague. It just you don't know what the fuck's happening the entire time.
Cheat on the midget. I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're gonna happen, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Even if you know it's gonna happen because you don't know when it's going to happen because it just happens. Everything's just so out of like that's why I love it so much because it is so weird and he knows it. Like R. Kelly just knows this was like total weird bullshit, and I was like so it made it just that much better.
Yeah,
because it just starts out normal and you're like yeah, and then it keeps getting normal and you're like things are a little that's a little weird how they're connected like that, and then it just like this is spiraling out of control. What is happening? Like it's becoming some weird like X-Files as conspiracy theory bullshit, and just like how do I handle this? You have no coping mechanisms ready for this.
Oh boy, I'm in for something really interesting.
This is pretty much just like taking Mark II and just amping it up into a real story.
See, now I'm like trying to find all the releases of Trapped in the Closet. I'm trying to find it. It's like it's not like there's 1 through 12. You know,
that's the first album.
I'm looking for the rest of it though. We'll talk about it more after we close out the show. The next episode, because I'm not even gonna say week, because we're gonna be getting it done in the middle of the week, pre-recorded. We've got the Caps debut EP, Spent Not Satisfied. We'll be reviewing later on this week with our friend
William D. Nardo.
William DiNardo.
Isn't he actually like a second or a third?
Yeah, he's like a junior.
Oh, junior, that's what it was.
Yeah. So
still say the
Willie
second.
DiNardo will join us pre-recorded.
William DiNardo the second.
We'll have we'll have another little performance from Willie, I think.
Yeah.
And that'll be hopefully the
Maybe
best.
We'll have
master.
him perform Trapped in the Closet.
No.
I want Willie DiNardo to perform Trapped in the Closet.
That will be here for hours.
I'm okay with that. Ian, I'm prepared to deal with live with the consequences. Are you?
No, I'm not, because I'm not the one coming up with this bullshit idea.
That, or we could have him do a vocal cover of Mark. Ian, he'll do what he did with hashtag Waco Problems, but with Mark II Return.
Oh, I mean, don't tell him what he's doing. Like, Don't let the Willie do what
Yeah.
the Willie does.
But Willie needs to know. It just needs to happen. I don't think I want to show Willie Mark 2. I don't think he's ready for it.
Oh, Mark II.
Yeah, Mark 2.
Okay. But let's just leave things at that. Give the Facebook page a like. Give the YouTube account a subscription.
Don't
Check out all things Rockland Rebel Radio and either of those.
don't please. We're lonely out here on the Twitters.
Follow the Twitter too,
Please.
at Rockland RR.
Please, I need to talk trash about, throw shade at somebody.
And my Twitter handle is updated a tiny bit. Nothing important. I'm just, what am I? Like RR_ Ian, maybe?
Triple R Tentacion.
Oh no, 3XR_ Ian, because R Ian was taken for some reason.
Well,
I want to actually look and see who's the asshole that took R Ian.
he's a fan. Where he hates this bullshit ass show. Oh, what if I'm Triple R Ian? That would be hilarious. And I want to know now too.
It's
I want to know.
some woman named Rianne
Just rando.
Boijink. She's from Borculo.
How does that? Oh, you know what that is?
What?
No, I don't know what that is. What?
I don't know. But anywho, that is that is.
Wait, Triple R Ian AAA?
No, R. 3XRIAN is my
3XR. No, but what's the other ones? The one that they took.
3RRRIAN, and it's like a person at the very bottom of the list, but they're like from some random country, and their account is private.
Oh, I see.
So I can't bully them into like giving me my name.
I want to bully them anyway. Oh, I can't PM them. Damn.
Yeah, you can't. You jerk.
I love when just random people follow me because they just have it set as like, I don't know, they have some sort of like set follow bot on there, like on big accounts, and they'll follow me, and then I'll be like starting to randomly message them, and then they'll unfollow me, and I'm like, that's better. It's weird whenever those big accounts just follow you because of like they have some sort of like bot on there, especially the same, because there's even certain like band accounts when you follow them, they send out an automatic message like, thanks for following.
Yeah.
Check out our stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird.
But yeah, so that kind of does it for the episode. Again, follow the Twitter, follow the Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube account. Keep an eye out for when I actually finally edit and post these last 2 episodes, and it's gonna be a busy time. Also. Come on and hang out with Jared and I seeing Regime and Great American Ghost, Bury Your Dead, and Recon.
I'm going to cry.
Next Sunday.
I'm going to cry, but I'm also going to cry because PCD.
PCD?
Post-con depression.
Oh, yeah, post-con depression.
I'm going to cry anyway.
And we'll be
Regardless.
back on our normal Rockland Rebel Radio schedule on... because we're skipping next Sunday's show. So we will be on our shit... let's see.
We'll never be on top of our shit.
We'll be on top of our shit as of March 4th. So keep an eye out for that. And as always, take care.
As long as the toilet's still under you and gravity is normal, you'll always be on top of your shit.